If you've reached this point, it wasn't by chance. Your guardian angels brought you to this moment because there's something in this message that speaks to your soul. The universe moves in details, and today, in this very instant, the detail is you being here, hearing words that seem tailor-made for your heart. Take a deep breath. Let God speak to you through the silence between each sentence. Nothing is a coincidence when life calls. Before we continue, tell me, where are you watching from right now? Write in the comments. I would love to know. Today, I want to talk about someone who occupies a silent space within you. This person, someone who in some way is part of your journey, even if time, distance, or circumstances try to deny it. Because the truth is, the heart doesn't need permission to feel, it just feels. Now think about that someone. It's like a closed window that still allows light to filter through the cracks. No matter how much silence exists, there's always a beam of memory shining through, a spark of presence that doesn't fade away. This person watches you, maybe from afar, maybe in silence. But spiritual eyes always find a way. And what they've seen in you lately is something that makes them uneasy. You healed in silence, yes, with hidden tears, with nights where only God knew your pain, with prayers that seemed unanswered but were all heard. And this person, they felt it. Even without being by your side, even without exchanged words, they noticed. The universe has a mysterious way of connecting energies. When someone who has once dwelled within us is watching, there are invisible signs, silent currents that traverse distances. This person realized that what was once a shadow within you has now become light. And that touches them in a way they can't even explain. You didn't need to scream. You didn't have to prove anything. Your healing was the most silent yet powerful testimony anyone could show. And that testimony shook certainties, because this person had pride, a shield, a wall built to hide vulnerability. But seeing you rise again, noticing your strength reborn even after the falls, something inside them broke. It's not easy to admit this. Pride is often the last to yield. But life doesn't spare the heart when it tries to hide. And what their eyes saw in you was impossible to ignore. A soul that stood up with God's help. Maybe you don't even know the extent of your own transformation. Perhaps you don't realize how much light you carry now. But the guardian angels have already whispered, someone is being touched by this change. This person misses you. It's not just a longing for your physical presence. It's missing the energy that only you carry. Like a song that only exists in one voice. Like a landscape that only a specific gaze can see deeply. Isn't it curious? Life sets parallel paths, distances, silences. But when the soul recognizes a truth, it doesn't forget. It keeps it safe, even against its will. And this truth, kept within this person, pulses. It pulses in memories, it pulses in moments when they remember you unwittingly. It pulses in dreams that feel like visits. It pulses in thoughts that come suddenly when pride tries to keep the doors closed. Have you ever wondered how many times someone thought of you while you tried to move on? How many times unknowingly you were a memory? You were a prayer, you were a hidden longing. This person, they feel, they know, even if they've never said it. And today, what the universe wants to show you is that this presence still walks with you, even in silence, even when it seems distant, even when it seems faded. This person saw what you have become. They saw the strength you rebuilt, and somehow that dismantled her from within, because not everyone can rise from their own ashes. Not everyone can reinvent themselves after carrying so much weight. But you did, and her heart, it feels this truth like a mirror. Because deep down, every time that person thinks of you, what echoes inside her is a silent question. How did someone who suffered so much manage to stand up like this? And perhaps therein lies the greatest revelation of today. What you lived through was not in vain. Your pain was not wasted. Your journey was a testament, and that testimony is touching someone more than you can imagine. And I want to ask you, do you sometimes feel like someone is watching you in silence, as if they were invisible yet real? Leave a comment. I want to know if this energy reaches you too. The universe does not allow truths to stay hidden forever. Sooner or later, the heart is called to confront, and this person has already begun to face their own vulnerability through your strength. Yes, there was silence. There was distance. There were shadows. But the truth is that none of these barriers erase what is real. Today, what spiritually resonates is that your healing was also a call to this person's heart. She finds herself facing her own shattered pride, and it is in this mirror that the paths begin to open up again. But we need to talk about what hurts, about what still weighs heavily, about what many times you don't say out loud but carry in your chest like a shadow. The silence, the distance, the indecision. It's like an interrupted road. You know the path continues, but a fog covers the next steps. This person is out there somewhere ahead, but the fog doesn't allow you to see. And the question that arises within you is there still truth behind all this silence? Yes, there is, but the silence has been this person's shield. A shield to avoid admitting feelings, a shield to avoid showing vulnerability, a shield to avoid facing one's own shadows. This distancing wasn't a lack of love, it was fear. Fear of diving into something that took her out of control, fear of shedding her pride, fear of showing vulnerability in front of you. And how many times have you felt that weight? How many times did silence hurt more than any harsh words? How many times did you wait for signs, only to find closed doors? The human heart often tries to protect itself by hiding, but what hides does not disappear. What is true simply remains silent, waiting for the moment to bloom again. This person is in conflict, between the pride that made her silent and the heart that screams when she remembers you, between the desire to get closer and the fear of undressing, between the silence that protects her and the longing that suffocates her. Have you ever felt that someone distanced themselves not out of lack of love but from fear? Share with me in the comments. I really want to know if this resonates with your story. This is the central conflict, the pride that slowly dissolves because it no longer has the strength to sustain a lie. The lie that it doesn't matter, the lie that there are no feelings, the lie that one can live as if nothing ever existed. And every time this person sees your light, every time she notices the transformation God has worked in you, pride gives way a little more, like a cracked wall starting to crumble, because there's no denying what is true. The universe is moving energies, and what seemed definite is just a pause. What seemed like eternal distancing is merely temporary silence. What seemed like absolute shadow is already receiving beams of light. But I know you feel the weight too. You feel the weight, you feel the doubt. And sometimes you ask yourself, is it still worth believing? And I want to tell you, yes, it is worth it. Because believing isn't about being trapped in the past. It's trusting that what is true always finds its way back. This person is living an internal conflict that she hasn't revealed to you yet, but the guardian angels have already shown signs. Signs of restlessness, signs of longing, signs that something is about to shift. And that movement begins precisely where pride dissolves, because when the heart can no longer bear the weight of silence, it finds ways to speak. And that moment is drawing near. But I don't want to give everything away just yet. I want you to stay here because there are still deep revelations to be revealed, revelations that can change the way you perceive this connection. For now, keep this in mind. The silence you feel is not empty. It is filled with unspoken emotions, filled with swallowed truths, filled with hidden love. And when that silence breaks, it will be impossible to turn back. What is about to happen between you and this person is not just a reunion, it is transformation. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal the signs that are already being sent by the universe to confirm this. Silence is not empty. It speaks. It reveals. It shouts when the heart can no longer hold so much in. The guardian angels have shown signs, small, discreet, yet intense. A thought that arises suddenly, a dream that feels like a visit, a memory that resurfaces for no reason. None of this is by chance. The universe is preparing something. And this preparation does not happen outside, it happens within. Within that person's heart, within your heart, within this invisible bond that no distance has managed to break. Yes, this person thinks of you more than they admit, more than they would like, more than they can control. They think of you when they wake up. They think of you when they get distracted. They think of you when they see something that reminds them of your essence, and they try to disguise it. They try to convince themselves that it's over. But it's not over, because what is true does not fade away. What was sown by God does not get lost in the wind. What was inscribed by the universe does not dissolve with time. You need to hear this. This story is not over. It has only been put on pause, and this pause was necessary for transformation to occur. If it had happened earlier, it might have been fragile. But now there is maturity. Now there is awareness. Now there are signs that the paths are beginning to align again. Do you feel it? This movement in the invisible, as if something is about to happen? The angels show that there is an approach on the horizon, not a superficial approach, but a deep one, driven by longing, driven by truth, driven by the need to no longer silence what cries within. Pride fades away, the heart opens, and amidst the silence, a voice emerges, a truth, a revelation. You have been seen, your healing has been acknowledged, your rebirth has been witnessed, and now the universe transforms this into a calling. This person can no longer hide the impact you have, and that is what will prompt a gesture, a word, an unexpected approach. But be careful, this movement doesn't come on your timetable. It comes in God's timing, in the perfect timing, in the timing when both are ready to support what is true. Until then, trust. Trust the signs, trust the whispers of silence, trust what the heart feels, even without visible proof. Because faith is this, believing in the invisible, waiting for what has yet to materialize, walking even when the path seems covered in shadow. But the shadow is not the absence of light, it is merely an interval. And in that interval, something is being prepared. God works in secret. The universe rearranges destinies in silence. The angels move hearts without anyone noticing, and at the right moment, the truth that is hidden today will bloom, and when it blooms, it will be impossible to deny. I want to ask you, do you believe that silence also speaks? Write in the comments because I really want to hear your voice. This is today's revelation. The pride that once held back has no more strength. The longing that once hid now overflows. And the universe is already opening doors that seemed closed forever. No distance can erase what is true. No silence can kill what was born to bloom. No shadow can forever engulf the light, because everything that is real finds its way back, always. You are proof of this. Your life has shown that pain was not the end, but a passage, that falling was not defeat, but preparation, that silence was not emptiness, but construction. God does not abandon true seeds. The universe does not forget authentic connections. Guardian angels do not stop protecting what has been inscribed in the heart. This story is not just about love. It's about purpose, about healing, about redefinition. You needed to heal in silence so that this person could learn on the other side that pride sustains nothing. And now both of you carry different yet complementary lessons. You carry the strength of overcoming. This person carries the pain of silence. And you both carry one truth: nothing was in vain. And what is born with purpose does not get lost. What has spiritual roots does not dissolve with the wind. What has been inscribed in eternity always finds a way to bloom. Believe, no emptiness is permanent, no separation is total, no heart can forever deny what has been touched by God. That's why today, the message is one of hope, not the anxious hope that weighs you down, but tranquil hope that trusts, that rests in divine timing, that knows what is true, does not need to be forced. You don't need to chase after it. You don't need to wear yourself out trying to prove anything. You don't need to lose yourself trying to hold on. Just trust. Trust the signs. Trust the silence that speaks. Trust the universe that moves. Trust in God who never fails. And when the moment arrives, it will feel natural, without struggle, without doubt, without masks. Because the truth always finds its voice, and when it speaks, it will be simple, it will be clear, it will be inevitable. Take a deep breath. Feel this certainty. The peace that comes when you surrender to divine timing. The serenity that arises when you understand that nothing needs to be forced. Everything that is yours will come to you, at the right time, in the right way, in the right measure, and you will see. The silence was not absence, it was a path. The distance was not a loss, it was preparation. The shadow was not eternal darkness, it was an interval before the light. Pride fades away, truth blooms, and paths converge. This is the spiritual promise that echoes today. Everything that is true returns, everything that is true endures, everything that is true remains. If this message resonated with you, hold one thing in your heart: you are not alone. The universe listens, God responds. Your guardian angels walk with you every step of the way. And now I want to hear from you. Which word in this message touched your soul the most? Write it in the comments. It could be silence, it might be hope, it could be truth, it can be any word that resonates within you. This space is ours, a place for sharing, a place for healing, a place where every comment lights the way for someone else who is also seeking signs. And if this message made sense to you, give it a like. This is more than just a gesture. It's a signal to the universe that your energy is open to receiving more words like these. Share it too, you never know who might need to hear this right now. Sometimes a simple share is someone's answered prayer. It could be the seed that will bloom in another heart. And if you want to keep receiving messages like this, subscribe to the channel here, turn on the notification bell. That way, every new word the universe inspires me to share will also reach you at the right moment, because there are no coincidences. If you are here, it's because your angels prepared this meeting, and if you continue, it's because there are more revelations waiting for you. I want to finish by leaving you with a breath of light. Trust in the timing. Trust in the signs. Trust that everything true will always find its way back. Now it's your turn. Which word from this message resonated with you the most today? Write it in the comments, I would love to read it. And remember, you are light, you are loved by God. You are guided by the universe. You are protected by your guardian angels. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can erase what is true.